Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It all depends upon when you're watching this video. I will try to make it as short as possible. However, there's quite a few things that I want to discuss today. Kind of go over what we did last year and where we're headed this year as a company. Eric and I spent probably almost about a half a week here and there deciding what makes the biggest impact and how do we get from point A to point B and things like that. So let me I guess start out by letting you all know where we came from this year. We started off with our after Christmas party. If you were planning on coming to this year's Christmas party, let me know, or let Eric know, I should say, soon, because that's happening not next week, but the week after. Then we launched Cancel My Account. We had bugs, and honestly, it was written by an employee who didn't really care, and you could tell. Jake then went through and kind of fixed that system and made it right. Are we totally sure that we're going to keep this Cancel My Account system in play? I don't know yet. We're gonna definitely let the system work for the next probably 2 years for sure. I like to keep things running at 3 years, no matter what, before abandoning it and just going in a different direction. Because in business, I know that if you don't give things enough time, then yeah. Anyway. That being said, speaking about bugs, we literally were hit with a ton of potato chips this year, and it really hit the bottom line at Brook Point. If you don't know what potato chips are, you can't read between the lines, yeah, we'll just move right on. We held our first ever Family Escape weekend. It was a lot of fun. We honestly made quite a few friends from that group. I know my kids, we actually went to it just to kind of help that whole process, and it really went well. We held our second one last weekend. We didn't nearly have the turnout. It's been very difficult for us to get those people to come to the event. We're not sure if people are just they're unsure what to expect from it. Yeah, it's not, the program is not taking off nearly like what I thought that program was going to take off. I don't know yet why. We're going to wait until summer before we reevaluate that Family Escape. We've got several other ones planned this year, but nonetheless, as you know, we got hit with a ton of snow. I can't tell you how much snow we got hit with. It was just nuts. Corey himself wore himself out from plowing almost 7 days a week for almost an entire month. It was literally non-stop snow. Boy, was it ever non-stop snow. Anyway, so it really it put us behind on a lot of projects that we had planned on doing in the wintertime. The wintertime we use for indoor projects, and then we use the summer for all outside projects. I mean, in Indiana, we get, almost 2.5 months of summer, and then the rest is winter. So it really kind of puts us behind quite a bit on what we can actually do. We had a ton of flooding in apartment at 710 North Huntington. It's been a problem ever since I bought the building. The building's almost paid off now, and yet it's still been a problem. So we have been really putting attention toward fixing that permanent solution. We redid the concrete in that office. We also put a sump pump in that office, or in that apartment. It needs some work, concrete work on the outside of the property. We were hoping to get that done this year. It just did not happen. It is on our master project list, but we're just not sure when we can do it. We're trying to wait until we have some other concrete work to do, so we can do that all at the exact same time. We did finish apartment B210 at Wawasee Plaza, and this project took way too long, and honestly, a lot of it had to do with the snow. When we were trying to be able to work on that and finish that project up, we just couldn't, because we kept having snow all winter last year, and so it really put us behind. Obviously, in the summertime, we can't work on that project as much. We kind of worked on here, because we have so many outside projects that need to be done. And so anyway, that's done now, and it's been done for almost 9 months now, maybe 10. So that's very exciting to have that project completely done. But we're starting on another apartment, in case you didn't know. Then we had a great learning experience at the Fort Wayne Home Show. It was a lot more money than we had ever spent at, like, say, the Elkhart Fair. The Elkhart Fair, we had always been there with all the different companies over the years. This last year we were here, we've been there for the last 3 years for Brook Point. The first several years at the Elkhart Fair with Brook Point, we were just handing out brochures and say, hey, come try us out, come try us out, come try us out, come try us out. We weren't selling anything there on the spot. We weren't collecting any cash. And what total change. And so what Eric and I were talking about, we were really nervous about this Fort Wayne Home Show. Like I said, we were spending a whole lot more money than what we're used to spending for those, especially considering we're just handing out brochures. It's very hard to quantify that amount of money that you spend on those brochures and the time and the show, and then how much business do you get from that. Nonetheless, so we thought we'd try a $49.99 rate, and if they buy it right there on the spot, we'll sell them the certificate. And we were like, Thursday it was dead. Friday it started to get a little bit busier, and then Saturday we were just swamped. And so we only brought so many of those certificates up with us, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start selling these things, and that's all we were going to do. We were trying to start doing it. It's like, well, if we could just pay for the show. And then I was just like, well, this is kind of dumb. Why not just sell as many of them as we freaking can and make as much money as we can? And that's what we did. And oh my goodness, we could barely keep up with that. Saturday, I practically lost my voice from selling. I mean, it was literally one sale after another sale after another sale after another sale after another sale, all freaking day long. And that was very exciting, and we learned those techniques, and I had never been able to experience that sales thing before, because I've had lots of different companies, and the way that I've grown my businesses is not from the sales from internally. It has been buying this company, and then buying this company, and then buying this company, or agents giving us, but this was actually me selling that product, my product, over and over and over again. It was just, it was exhilarating, to tell you the truth. But we learned a whole lot from that. So then we immediately signed up for the home show in South Bend. We were kind of hoping for the same type of thing. We got a crappy booth spot. We didn't spend as much money, but they didn't have very many spots left over. But we had amazing capture rates. And honestly, if you look back at all of the data, that was by far the best show that we did, even though the dollar volume that we sold was a lot less. Let's see. Speaking of Brook Point, we painted the pool. We redid the kickboards, or I shouldn't say kickboards, the baseboard trim all the way around the pool, or not the pool, but the pool room, and we power washed the floor. We did some major work in the bathroom. It was in really bad shape, and it was just flat out, it was just embarrassing. We did repaint the pool again because it was chipping up quite a bit. The paint seems to be holding okay. It has chipped up some, but we got 8 months later, and it still seems to be doing okay. I am not planning on painting the pool this April, when we close down the pool again. But that being said, we also added a hair salon at 710 North Huntington. They've been in there. They're very happy with their lease. They're very happy with being in that spot, which is very, very exciting. We added a wall partition. I'm going to make a note while we're talking about that. If I don't do this when I do it, yeah. Anyway, we added a wall partition at Brook Point, so it gives front desk a lot more storage space, and we were just basically getting rid of useless space. I thought it was going to really kind of slim down how much space was in the lobby, but actually it didn't. It just makes it look so much more better. We added the ITN shed at the Warsaw Tower. That was a lot of prep work. Boy, was that a lot of prep work. We're not completely done with it over there yet. We still have some barbed wire that we want to get put up, but we're getting there. Brandon and I went to Las Vegas to talk about and learn more about buy here, pay here dealerships and compliances. We started looking at doing recycling business. I'm not sure how many of you remember us talking about doing that in the future. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get to a simpler business, not as complicated of businesses, and really trying to make it so that the sales are just no-brainers. I mean, as the economy is changing and how people are honestly, quite frankly, getting lazier in society, I really, really want to try to figure out how we can best play into that. And not have this constant race to zero in providing every product known to man, because it just is not, it just doesn't work. Truly, truly does not work. So we're trying to get into those niche markets with our IT and voice service. But anyway, we looked at going to the trash and recycling business. We thought, great, anytime you can get paid on both sides of a service, then we're in great shape. Truthfully, we're in great shape, because the customer's paying us to pick up that recycling material, and we're getting paid for that product, when we're selling it somewhere else. So it's kind of a win-win. Well, we started doing some analysis. After I went down and looked at a customer, they're a car dealership, but they don't consider themselves that. They're a finance company, and I'm like, okay. And so I was sitting down there spending about 2 or 3 hours with this company, and I'm like, after I got done, and I said, sell them on this product, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're making 24% interest rates, and they keep having customers coming to them in the masses. And some of you are thinking to yourself, like, oh man, Ben's going to take advantage of all these people. And quite frankly, it's one of those things that I would much rather be in that position helping these people, because they're going to go to somebody. They're going to go somewhere. There is a need out there with people that just do not have good credit. And quite frankly, I do not see that getting any better. I truly, truly do not see that getting any better. I know that sounds terrible. It's like, oh, Ben, where's your faith in, mankind, and where's your faith in? I'm a business person. Quite frankly, I'm a business person that tries to make as much money as humanly possible. I am not in this just for the fun of it. I'm just not. I am in business to make money. And anytime that I can try to figure out how to make the fastest money, with doing the least amount of work, then that kind of seems like something I need to do. Back to the whole recycling business, we looked at how many accounts we had to have and how many people we had to make this amount of revenue. And then we were looking at like how much we had to have to make this much revenue over here by selling cars, and we were like, huh. Yeah. So it was not even close, not even remotely close. I mean, we were going to have something like 8,000 trash and recycling customers to equal something like 200 cars. Yeah. If you can't do the math on that, then yeah, maybe you should. Anyway, there's a lot, the amount of money that we were going to have in overhead and equipment, and you just don't have that when you're doing the other. So we went out to this Buy Here, Pay Here dealership compliance seminar in Las Vegas. We came out of that seeing that, man, there's a lot of compliance crap that you have to mess with, and that was the reason why we went to the compliance dealership. Anyway, it was quite interesting. We came out of that finding out that we will not go into the Buy Here, Pay Here dealership, that we will actually go into a Lease Here, Pay Here dealership. So there are differences, and major differences. It works very similar to Buy Here, Pay Here, but basically you look at it as you're providing a payment option for these people that cannot get payments or get loans anywhere else. And just like with a traditional lease, we take care of the maintenance on, if something happens to the vehicle or things like that. Really about, of the defaults for Buy Here, Pay Here dealerships, 90% of the defaults are because the car breaks down and they can't fix it. They can't afford to fix it. So I'm like, well, if we can develop a system that, we handle those things kind of like an insurance thing. And then that's when I found out about this company called RE Dealership Reassurance. And I'm like, oh my goodness, you can even make more money on top of more money by doing things internally. Lots of exciting things there. But nonetheless, that's kind of what we went through. back on topic here because I know I'm already 14 minutes into this video. We painted the gazebo at the hotel. We added a huge billboard for Brook Point. Our well sprung a leak at Brook Point, and we created an app for Brook Point. So there are 4 things right in a row that we did for Brook Point. 9/16, we had to do a partial roof repair, or partial roof replacement, because of the massive windstorm we had. We did the Elkhart Fair. We began moving the wireless equipment into the ITN shed. It took us almost 1 entire year to get electricity to that shed. NIPSCO is an absolute terrible company to do business with. It's embarrassing. It truly, truly is embarrassing. It took 1 year to get power to that shed, because we started working on getting power there before we delivered the shed. Our 3215 North Anthony, we added office space. We added more office spaces and finished them, and we added four rentable units, small rentable units. And realistically, I was just looking at generating about $1,000 to $1,500 a month in residual revenue for those places. We added a laundry chute at the hotel. Our wetlands at the hotel became plugged. We had to figure out how that whole system worked, and we figured it out. But boy, one more thing. We began painting Brook Point, all the main hallways everywhere. We had our fall festival. We focused heavily on Benson computer repair sales in Fort Wayne. We had just been not seeing a lot of drop-offs. Our foot traffic was just staying the same and kind of just going down. And I'm like, why is this doing this? And this marks the second full year that we've been there, and so we just like, something's got to change. Eric and I were just like, if this place can hold its own and not have other companies supporting this, then that's what we need to do. And so we have not stopped working on the Benson Fort Wayne. And once we get to our averages are 3.0 computer drop-offs per day, we're going to add another inside salesperson in Fort Wayne, because we feel at that point in time it's going to stay the same, and we also will no longer send our computers from Syracuse to Fort Wayne every day, which Bill's been been transporting a lot of those computers back and forth, and he's done a really good job with that. We added a water manifold at Wawasee Plaza. What is a water manifold? Well, in simplicity's sake, as it branches off, you have one water spigot, and then you have multiple hot waters coming off. Before, we had all of the hot water daisy chained in the entire building. So, and then we also added a water circulation pump. And what that does is, before, like if somebody where Carrie's apartment is at Wawasee Plaza, if you were to turn on a shower and you walk away, it would take 3 whole minutes before hot water would hit that shower, because that water was going through all, traveling all the way up to the basement to get to that. What a waste of water. What a complete waste of water. Absolute complete waste of water. So we added a circulation pump. So we ran a return line all the way from the manifold, all the way upstairs, all the way back down to the water heater, and plugs that, and that goes directly into the water heater. And basically what that does is it continually makes that hot water line all hot. So you get hot water in about 6 to 8 seconds from every spigot in the building. That was a huge process, and I'm just so glad to have that completed. We started on the construction of apartment to B209. Sorry, I moved my office down to Brook Point. I had an office at Brook Point and at Wawasee Plaza. I didn't really have good heat up there. It was not insulated at all. So I don't do well in the wintertime. I freeze all the time, and I'm just not going to spend tons of money on a space heater. It would take, an hour and a half, 2 hours to get the room. Well, sometimes I don't even come into that office. I'll work out of Fort Wayne, or I'll work here, or I'll work, so it's just like, it was just a waste of energy and waste of time. So I'm like, that's when we were just like, what can we do to increase revenue and stuff like that? And we decided to move move my office down here permanently, and then we're building a complete new one up in Fort Wayne. And that office was getting moved over, so that window would be part of apartment B209. So that'll be exciting. And we finally began implementing our new IT and SIP servers that Jake and has been working a ton on. Wes has been helping out, and these servers will allow us to be able to remotely host our NAT. It eliminates our one-way audio issues, a lot of our jitter issues, and it will eliminate a lot. And not just a little bit, but a lot of tech support, which is really exciting because we plan on bringing on somebody on full-time just to start selling those ITN virtual PBX phones here this January. So there's a lot of exciting things having those things. One last thing that we are trying to complete on Monday, providing everything goes well, is our DSL traffic from CenturyLink is going to get cut over, and CTI is going to handle all of that bandwidth for our DSL customers, so we can move all of our equipment out of the CO. We actually tried to do that this last Tuesday, and it failed miserably because our DSL, the way the routing was set up from sysadmins about 15 years ago, didn't set things up correctly, and so we could not BGP announce our different routes throughout the network. So hopefully, if everything goes well, Monday we will have our DSL transfer over, and we will move out of the central office and be completely out of central office by that point in time. Anyway, so my final thoughts on 2014, so we can move to 2015, is it was a painful year. Quite frankly, it was an absolutely exhausting 2014 year, where if you listen to the things that I've discussed over this video, we had a lot of backwards movement, fixing things that we shouldn't have to fix. I didn't even talk about all of our water issues at the hotel. I mean, that set me back, $15,000. Just asinine stuff that we've had to deal with. For 2014 that we just didn't have an opportunity to move forward. We didn't get a chance to really work on the sales and things like that because we were constantly working behind. But we have a lot of things that we plan on changing, and that's how we thought about our goals and how we can accomplish that and what the goals that we can put in place that will really, truly make a big difference. So anyway, that's 2014. I realize that we're now 22 minutes into this video. I apologize about that, but it is what it is. We gotta go through these things. Anyway, so I have broken down the goals by the companies, and Eric and I have been working on. So, like, say for example, Wawasee Plaza, goal number 4. We're saying what steps do we have to do to make these goals happen, and then we're actually creating Evernotes for all of these goals and who's going to do what portion of these goals to actually get them done, because that's one of the things that we just really haven't done a very good job of. So to say it all out, this is where we're starting for 2015. Wawasee Plaza, we're going to build apartment B201, and that is where, I should say 209. That's the one that we're working on right now. That's going to generate quite a bit of revenue for us and help Wawasee Plaza completely stand on its own, and that's what we really want to make sure of, because if that company is completely standing on its own, then all of a sudden it can actually accelerate debt repayment and then purchase more and more and more properties, and that's what we should be doing, and we have not been able to really do that. We're going to then build apartment B201. This is where Bill Rondeau's office is. We're not sure where Bill's going to go yet, but once we get B209 done, then we'll focus on that apartment. So right there, right off the top, it's going to be 2. So then I struggled with this for a very long time, and most of the people that have been around long enough know this, that we're going to build apartments up above the old bank. They're going to be beautiful apartments, absolutely gorgeous apartments that I think we will have no problems renting those out at all. And those are going to generate some nice revenue for us as well. So right there on the top, we're going to build 4 apartments this year. We're going to try very hard to keep them at 2 months a pop, and we realize that that's going to take a lot of energy to do that, and we completely understand that. But at the same point in time, if we get Wawasee Plaza to stay on its own, that's what we need to do. We're going to add water softeners in the Menards room for Wawasee Plaza, and that'll take care of a couple tenant issues where their sinks and stuff like that are causing a lot of rust, but we're going to get there. Then we're going to work on put a coin-operated washer and dryer in for all the apartments, because by the time we're done, we'll have 1, 2, 3 4, 5, 6 apartments, 7 apartments upstairs. That's rather exciting, truly. Rather exciting to have that done. So that's Wawasee Plaza. Then ITN, we have one primary goal for sales, and that's we're going to hire a good salesperson just for ITN, and they're going to start hopefully right after the first of the year. We've kind of already started making some progress on that individual, and they're already familiar with the product. So that'll really save a lot of time. Then we're gonna do one IT master project list on every month. So all of our other projects we have going on for IT, we're gonna concentrate on getting one off the master project list done every month. And we're gonna sit down here before the first of the year. We're gonna prioritize all these and say, what needs to be done first that impacts everyone the most. Then we're going to concentrate on inside sales of customers off of 1,000 north for the wireless, because that needs to be built up, and so we can get some revenue flowing off of that network. And that's what Eric Frick and I are going to work on pretty closely, working on that. We're going to work on getting a master DVR for all security cameras throughout all of my enterprises. We have security cameras everywhere, and we just don't have a good system for recording all those cameras, and we're going to implement one way or another by the end of the year. We're going to get packages in the wiki for all ITN packages completely filled out, how they work, how you provision them, what they are, videos explaining them. Now that we've spent tons of time working on an ITN form, which is almost online in a PDF format, we're then going to get details out in the wiki on how everything works. And we're going to come up with a new backup system rather than remote backup, because our current one is just not stable, and it sucks. FTW, we're going to work on the parking lot at 3215. We're going to sell out all of the units at 3215 that we just built. And then we're going to get a marquee sign set up at the front of the building so we can put changeable letters on. We really think the changeable letters, they help. They're nice. I'm not going to put an LED sign in there, nothing like that. We're going to have changeable letters. And then we're either going to sell 1111 to someone else, and we think that we're almost got that completed, or we're going to add one apartment there, and we're going to hire that done by someone and get it completely done. So Benson, we're gonna do the flat rate computer repair for Syracuse, and we're going to do the same thing that we're doing for Fort Wayne, and we're just going to try to get as much business as we possibly can for Benson and get the revenue, truly get the revenue in. Then we're going to start screen repair in Fort Wayne only for iPhones, and iPads, and things like that, which is pretty exciting. And Jeremy, we've discussed that a little bit off and on. Then we're going to start selling 2 ads per week for iDisplay, and which is a Benson product. And then we're going to hire an inside salesperson for Fort Wayne, which I discussed about 15 minutes ago, with Fort Wayne once we hit an average of 3.0 drop-offs per day. Right now we're at 1.3 or 1.4. Anyway, it gives you an idea where we are with that. Then for Brookpoint, we're going to get a professional expo booth, and our booths for our fairs and stuff like that, it takes us forever to set them up. I mean, forever to set them up. And we really want to streamline that since we're going to be doing so many more of those. We're going to do some breakfast changes and improvements. We're going to get TVs for all the rooms. Not just some of them, but all the rooms we're going to get TVs for. It's our biggest complaint, and quite honestly, I'm tired of hearing it. Number 2 complaint is probably our breakfast issues, and so those are why those are up there. I spent almost 2.5 full days responding to reviews online, and those were the common issues. And it's just like I got tired of commenting and replying on the same thing, and it's just like if it's not the cost of the TVs. If it was just the cost of the TVs, we would have done it the first freaking year of, it's the problem is the TVs were wired on a light switch by the door. So if you wanted the TV on, you had to turn on the light switch by the door. If you wanted the TV off, you had to turn off the light switch. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So we had to go through and rewire every room in the building. Stupid. I mean, I don't even know how to explain how stupid that is. And then so then our cabinets where the TVs are, the TV cabinet was built around all those entertainment systems. They were built around that, and that's just so we had to go through and change that as well. And oh my goodness, and we're not even done doing that yet. So it has been a lot of work to redo these rooms. I mean, truly, just to get ready for the TVs. So we're as we're doing the cabinets, we're adding TVs slowly, but one way or another, by this busy season, we're going to have new TVs in all the rooms. We just are. We're going to redesign the partner program. We're not sure exactly what we're going to do with that, but we're going to really spend probably about a half a week and just dive into it and consider what is it going to take to redo this partner program. We're going to plant about 300 trees on Brook Point property. Oh my goodness, with adding this other property just west of us to landscape it so it all ties in together with our master landscaper, that's a lot of trees that we're going to be planting. Don't even know how else to explain. It's just a lot of trees. So we're going to get an ASI station also in the basement for housekeeping. We're going to replace the front drive signs. Right now it says Brook Point Inn, and it's just going to say Brook Point. We're going to get some patio furniture. We're going to redo the foyer carpets. They're just in really bad shape. There are 4 rooms that we're going to remodel. As I've told you before, my goal is to remodel 3 rooms per year, so that way every 10 years all rooms are remodeled continuously. It's just a nice cycle. Yeah, well, anyway, so we're going to do 4 rooms this year because the last 2 years we haven't done anything because of, well, you heard all the things that happened this year. Room 22, room 14, room 36, and room 27. We are going to be adding new jacuzzi rooms upstairs and putting those over the other jacuzzi rooms rather than having kids staying on top of jacuzzi rooms. It just doesn't work. Absolutely not. We're going to do insulation in rooms that have fallen down. We're going to refix that this year. And we're going to work on the BPI Cafe, which is basically going to be off the exercise room, and you're going to have a place with a pop machine, stuff like that. And then we're going to add curtains for all rooms because we have people complaining about blockout lights. And it's just flat out embarrassing. I think we have about 11 or 12 more rooms that we have curtains to do yet. So we're getting there. I know I'm getting kind of windy here, but we're almost done here. So future planning and growth and where do we head from here? I know that there's a lot of things that we want to do for a lot of the companies, but until we fix core issues that have been affecting us for years, then there's no sense in trying to do more and trying to do more and trying to do more. It's rather frustrating. It truly is. From a CEO and entrepreneur, I really want to take the company so many more places, and I feel like my hands are tied because I'm stuck with fixing old stuff that previous employees and previous people that truly didn't care about their job. And when we find people that just don't care, we're trying to basically say, this isn't the place for you, and we're trying to make sure that we try to do that faster than slower going forward. The other thing we plan on, this is 2 things that I'm going to be working on this year. I'm going to be working on developing a master plan for some property that we are looking at acquisitioning on the main channel in Syracuse. And one of the things that I'm going to be working on this. I honestly think it'll probably take us 2 to 3 years to make this deal happen, and then again, it might not even happen. Those. I work on many deals over the years. This one I truly would like to make happen, but sometimes there's many deals that I really, really want to try to make happen that don't, and ones that I don't really want to have happen just fall into my place and get it for next to zero. You just don't know. So that's one thing, and then I plan on getting one car leased on the lease here, pay here type of business. It's not going to take people. It's not going to take time. It's going to take my resources to really make this happen and come up with a name. We have about 4 or 5 domain names that we've already registered for, but nothing's yet clicking. And that's one of the things that just like the couplesromancegetaway.com, that says what we do. it very clearly says what we do, and the domain name that we're going to put on all of our cars on the back, it needs to say what it is we do, because people that know me, I do things difficult, and I do things that the normal person doesn't do. You know, the average person probably knows what a buy here, pay here is. But then again, people that don't need those, they don't know what a buy here, pay here is. You know, and I talk to people in the middle class, and they don't have a clue really what buy here, pay here, what those places are. And I have to kind of explain it to them. You know, upper class, you know, wealthy people, they understand what they are, because obviously, you know, a lot of them have made money from doing that. But it's really the lower end of the class, because, you know, they just have bad credit. They know exactly what it is, but trying to educate to them what it is we do needs to say it right there on the domain name, and it needs to be simple, and it needs to be very self-explanatory. So that is that's the plan of attack for this year. I apologize for a 35-minute video, almost 36-minute video. I wish you and your family a great 2015. Thank you for everything that you've done for me and my family. I am very grateful. Have a great day.